Hey guys, Jeff here with another episode of PackGeek. I am here with the man that has the longest running morning show in DFW. It's called Hawkeye in the Morning. Ooh. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Hawkeye. Thank you so much for joining us for an episode.
You know what? This is going to sound ridiculous. I swear this is the highlight of my week because I'm so excited to talk about cards because I never get to talk about them anymore, especially older cards too.
We love that. Yeah. And when I originally reached out to Hawkeye over email, we started trading emails back and forth, and I immediately realized he legitimately is interested in baseball cards because we had some good exchanges and we're talking cards. He's got a passion for the cards from the 70s especially, and yeah, he knows his stuff. So I am excited to have you here today. So do you still collect at all? I know you collected when you were a kid, but
I collected I started in 1971. That was the first year I collected, and I collected probably until the late 80s, early 90s. I'm not really sure what the last year was, but then I just kind of, you know, the whole collection changed a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it got flooded with so many different brands of cards, and I think that was kind of a bad thing for the hobby.
Especially around the 90s.
Yeah.
Things got, you know, there were
crazy.
25 different kinds of cards out there, and yeah, and it definitely changed, and the internet changed it again. But so 71 Topps. That is a legendary set, and I know a lot of collectors that watch this will also have a fondness for that set, but that set is extremely condition sensitive.
Yes.
And so did that just happen to be a year that you were really into collecting, or why was that set special to you?
Well, because that was the first year I really got into, I call it my sports awakening. I was in the 4th grade, and my dad was in the Air Force, so we lived overseas in the 2nd and 3rd grade. We played baseball, but you know, we didn't really have TV, you know, there's no baseball on TV. We lived in Turkey.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, in the 4th grade, we moved to East Lansing, Michigan, and it was like the movie Sandlot. That was the neighborhood I lived in. And so all of a sudden, all these kids were collecting baseball cards, and you know, I had never really heard that much about Major League Baseball before, and so it was just like this whole world opened up. I was seeing games on TV, and it was wonderful. And so that was the first year I collected. So it's still kind of my favorite set, though it is problematic. There's some things I don't like about it.
Well, it's a tough set, and I know people get really into the condition of sports cards, and that set in particular with those black borders. Do you want to take some? He actually brought some of his
I brought my whole 71. I brought the entire 71 set.
71 collection in here.
Yeah.
And so these black borders are really prone to chipping.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful, beautiful photography. They look like a piece of art. He's got the Thurman Munson here, which is, if not the key card in that set, definitely one of the top cards in the set. And it's just got that beautiful action shot. And you were telling me something about the action shots.
Yeah, this was the first year that Topps ever put action photos on cards, so it was a big deal. And then on the back, they put a photo. A close photo of the player, but that really ruined it for the stats. And so there's really only one line or 2 lines for stats, career and the previous year. And that actually, nobody liked that at all because back in the 70s, just the information that was on the back of a card was really the only place to get stats. And like in the 4th grade, you know, I had a lot of cards that were traded from the previous year. And that's how I kind of learned about historic players. Like I didn't really know who like Billy Williams was because he was kind of an older player at the time. We never saw the Cubs on TV. I got his card like, wow, this guy had a pretty nice career. Same with like Juan Marichal. So the stats were really important because that was the only place really you could get stats on a career was the back of a card. So when Topps did that, nobody liked it. Nobody liked the back of the card. It's the only year they ever did that.
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing that on any other 70s cards. But so you had a great story earlier. You said your family bought you the entire 1975 Topps collection. Was it like a Christmas or birthday gift?
Birthday present, yes.
Perfect. And you ended up trading away the Hank Aaron highlight, which is card number 1, I believe.
It was probably the most collected card too that year.
Well, tell us that story. I think people will be able to relate to this.
Well, this is kind of funny because here, I brought the 75s that I collected. We lived in the market that had the mini cards. Oh. So, in fact, I'll show you the difference. We had the mini cards. we thought everybody had the mini cards because everybody, this is the only card we could get. So we thought everybody had those cards. We didn't realize there was a whole set, this was just really kind of a rarity at the time. Anyway, so we're collecting all these, and my parents got me the 1975 complete set. Well, it was a great present, but like now you're done with the hobby. So I had all these extra cards. So I traded away that card, the Hank Aaron highlight card, for a pair of sweatpants. And my mom felt so bad. Like, if you needed sweatpants, let us know. You don't have to trade away your baseball cards to get stuff. So now that card's probably pretty valuable now.
It is. It's a popular card because I believe it's #1, so it's super condition sensitive and got dinged up at the front of a lot of set boxes. But I have to ask, do you still own those sweatpants, and are they in a hard case? Just to make sure they're still in good condition.
No, I do not. I do have a photo of me in the sweatpants, though, so I have record of the sweatpants. Yes. Oh
my gosh, that is hilarious. So to what Hawkeye was saying. And again, a lot of you know this because 75 Tops as well is a highly collected set, but they came out in both this mini version and then the regular size version, which is just your average size card. And over the years, it seemed like there's kind of an even amount on the market and maybe even fewer of the regular sized than the minis, but the minis were in these test markets like Michigan and I'm not sure.
I think there were like 5 test markets I later read. Yeah.
And so do you have any background on why they tried out the smaller cards?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because what was happening at that time is inflation started taking off, and cards went from a dime a pack where you got 10 cards. Then they went to 15 cents and you got 12 cards. Well, that was like a pretty big deal for kids in the neighborhood because everybody was talking about, I can't believe cards are that expensive. Yeah. And everything was going up, and there was a shortage of everything in the early 70s. So it was just, oh, look, now they've shrunk the baseball card.
Was it a matter of just less cardboard they had to print on?
Oh, yeah, no exactly. Kidding. It was and we didn't, like I said, we didn't realize at the time that we were in a test market. We thought everybody had the smaller card. It was like kind of late in the year, this guy went on vacation, he came back, he goes, look at this! I got this in another town. It's a card. He went to go buy cards in another town when he was on vacation, and that's when we found out that, we were a test market.
Well, so did you guys ever go out and try to find the cards that you liked in both sizes?
No,
was that ever a thing?
Because we could never find the other cards. They weren't for sale anywhere in our town, so they were very difficult to find. We didn't even know about it. And then for my birthday, I got that complete set, and that was in the regular size.
Okay,
okay. So that further kind of just verified the story that we were a test market. And then we thought, well, these cards are more valuable, because there's so few of them.
I really like the minis. My favorite card ever is a George Brett rookie, and obviously that's from 1975. So I've always wanted to find a really nice George Brett mini rookie. But speaking of 75 Tops, we have some pretty exciting packs to open today. We have some 1975 Tops. These are regular sized cello packs, and we're each going to open 2 of these, and hopefully we'll pull a Brett or Yount rookie card. So
I think I have the Yount mini, so I can show you what
you do. Yeah.
So I can show you what they
so
look like.
the big cards from this set that you'll want to be looking for, we have again George Brett, we have Robin Yount. There's the Robin Yount card.
And you know what, we were looking at this earlier, and there's a crease in it here.
It's been through a war.
It's been through the war. So and I usually took pretty good care of my cards. Even though I remember there was a kid in our neighborhood, Dan Wilson, and he told us in the 4th grade that someday cards would be worth $1. And we laughed at that kid.
Totally right.
$1. We were like, hey, look at these cards! I've got $10. He was way ahead of his time.
Dan Wilson knew his stuff.
Shout out Dan Wilson, man! If only we had listened.
Yeah. Well, I'm so impressed that you still have the cards that you were buying in a set that you were assembling from your childhood. Like I couldn't tell you where my childhood cards are. They've long been traded off for sweatpants and stuff, but or maybe beer during college. I don't remember. But so through the set, we're going to be looking for some major rookie cards. We have George Brett, Robin Yount, Gary Carter, Jim Rice. Those are the 4 Hall of Fame rookie cards that you could possibly get. And then there's a Dave Winfield second-year card. There's really cool Nolan Ryan and a couple of Hank Aaron cards in there. So there's a lot of awesome cards that we can pull out of here. So Hawkeye, there are 2 for you.
Now let me
2 for me.
If I open a card that's valuable, this is your card. I'm not taking this card.
We can work that out behind the scenes, but yeah, I just want you to pull one first.
Now let me ask you this question: does anybody ever eat the gum? Because I wonder what kind of shape that gum is in. Because
I definitely would encourage you to eat the 42-year-old piece of gum if you are so inclined.
I will take you up on that. You know,
I don't know that you'll like what you find. So
these cellophane packs, I believe they were 30 cents.
Okay.
At the time. They went up from a quarter to 30 cents, and which, believe it or not, when you're in the 4th grade, that was a lot of money.
Oh yeah, of course.
That was another thing too. Sometimes the gum would stain the card.
And it will, fortunately the gum, usually unless the gum gets in, if you're in some serious heat or humidity, sometimes the gum will soak right through the card.
Yeah.
But the wax, the gum and the wax, usually you can wipe that off, but sometimes, sometimes it will destroy a card or two. So I'm just gonna go through these and I'll stop if there's any.
Mike Marshall, gym teacher at my high school.
Are you serious?
In the off season.
Well, you might recognize this guy as Hawkeye's gym teacher.
I believe he was. I believe he won the Cy Young one year.
You had a Cy Young winning gym teacher?
Yeah. Well, back in those days, you know, they had to, they had to have jobs in the
off season. Yeah. That is amazing.
Yeah. See, in fact, I think it even says where his hometown is. It says East Lansing, Michigan. I think where he lives. Does it say that?
It does. Yeah. East Lansing.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Who knew?
Yeah. Wilbur Wood was a pretty good card in this day.
And that is nice looking card there.
Yeah. Okay. Now this, to me, is the least valuable card you could have, and nobody wanted these cards. Guys that had the painted-on logo on their hats at the time, which is...
Is that the early photoshopping?
Yeah, that really was. It's like, seriously? You could do a better job than that.
So this is what I was saying earlier about sometimes, even though it's brand new out of the pack, it could be in poor condition. Like this is, the bottom of this card you can see is a major like print error, not a print error, but it's just poorly cut. And you got, looks like a piece of some other card on there maybe.
The cellophane pack, also the joy to the cellophane pack is you found out what 2 of the cards were. And that was a big deal. Oh, look, Carlton Fisk card.
Here we go. There's our first hit of the day, Carlton Fisk. Very nice and pretty nicely centered too.
Yeah, yeah, that's
a young Carlton Fisk.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're gonna put that there on the good stack.
That's right, the good pile, of course. Yeah. Any card collector knows there's always a good pile, and then there's the rest of the cards.
This guy here, Pete Lecoq, and I think it may even say on the back of his card, I think his dad was host of the Hollywood Squares.
Really?
Yeah, I may even say that on the back of that card.
Let's see if we got any trivia on here.
Is that what it says?
Yes, who is Pete Lecoq's father? And
Peter Marshall.
Yeah, TV's Peter Marshall.
Host of the Hollywood Squares.
I'm so impressed, Hawkeye. I'm so impressed.
Jim Sundberg's a pretty good card.
Yeah, that is.
That's a pretty good card there.
Let's see here.
That would have been a big player back in the day. Sundberg was a pretty known player.
He was.
Yeah. You know, when I started collecting cards, the Rangers weren't even a team.
I know.
And I had no idea where Arlington was. I thought, well, so where is that? I mean, is that near Houston? Is that near Fort Worth or Dallas or San Antonio?
So here is a Jeff Burroughs and Johnny Bench run, batted in, RBI leaders.
And then once again, this was there was no place to go for stats. That's why baseball cards were so important. So that was a big deal. We would get stats usually like on the weekends in the Sunday paper. But that was a record of the previous year. So it kind of helped you guide you like, oh, this, if you're new to collecting or new to the sport, you'd look back on, oh, Jeff Burroughs.
That's somebody you want to look for.
Yeah, you want to look for.
Absolutely. All right. So how'd you do here?
Okay, Hal McRae.
As a Royals fan, big Hal McRae fan.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in the somewhat value. Is this the
now, he's probably coming. Let's be honest.
Okay.
He's a hometowner.
Let me see. There's the
there you go. Nice.
Okay, that was a pretty big card.
Rod Carew.
Okay, now this card doesn't mean anything, but in Michigan, any Tiger card was double the value, and it was a starter. So you had
according to Dan Wilson, that could be $1.
Yeah, that could be $1. Right? Here's another thing too about baseball cards is my TV growing up was black and white. Okay, And we only had like 3 games on during the week. We'd have a Saturday game of the local affiliate, which was the Tigers. Then we'd have NBC's Game of the Week with Joe Garagiola and Kurt Gowdy. And then during the summer, they'd have Monday's Game of the Week. So those are the only 3 times you got to see baseball. And I went to black and white TV, so I didn't even know what color these uniforms were.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so that would be a big deal. Like, I remember one year the Padres had yellow uniforms. But I didn't know about it until a year later because the Padres were never on TV.
You're like, they're not that ugly.
Yeah,
they can't.
Yeah, we're like, what kind of uniform is that? Let's see.
Come on, George Brett. Come on, Robin Yount.
Odom, Ernie McAnally. This was these cards were like really valuable to us.
Oh, yeah.
We wanted to get that whole set of the MVPs.
Now, did you ever have any cards that were older than the current year you were collecting?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got them 2 ways. One, as people started dropping out of the collection, I was like, I'll take your cards.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you to Greg Starks, who gave me almost the entire 1970 gray card collection.
Greg Starks.
Greg Starks. Yeah, he always came through. And then there was and this store is still there, called the Curiosity Bookshop, and they started selling old cards.
Oh, okay.
And so I would get older cards sometimes, and it would be like a quarter for. I have a Ted Williams card and a Stan Musial card, and I paid a quarter for, which was a lot because you could have bought a whole pack.
Good deal, though. I mean,
well, at the time it was like, you're taking a risk.
Yeah.
Sure, you want
Ted
to
Williams for a quarter?
Quarter. Earl Williams was a pretty good player in his day.
All right.
Ray Sadecki. So yeah, another one of these. This is interesting too because here's another example. By this time, the Pirates had already switched over to those bumblebee uniforms and stuff. But we knew because the Pirates were a good team, so we'd already seen those uniforms. So, but usually the uniforms are like a year behind by the time it gets to the card.
If we're going pack for pack, I feel like I won that.
I feel you won that one definitely. I feel like you won that one.
That's a pretty solid card there.
Yeah.
All right. So, and these, weirdly enough, most people are used to seeing the gum at the tail end of a pack. In these old cellophane packs, they're sandwiched right in between 2 stacks of cards. So if it unfortunately gets heated up too much, it can ruin a large portion of your pack. But these look pretty good. They were not kept in Houston. No humidity had been around these.
Pedro Borbon was a pretty big player at the time. That was a good card. That would have been a good card. The thing too, a lot of really free agency wasn't that big of a deal back then. In fact, it had just started. So you'd have a guy like Bill Melton. You knew him because he played with the White Sox for like 10 years in a row. So you knew who the the good players were.
All right. So here we have. Anytime you get Mickey Mantle, even though it's not during playing years, it's a good card.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that is, you got a little piece of a 74 highlight on the, after that we got a good. So that's a example of a horribly cut card.
Yeah.
You can see on the bottom there you have someone's 74 highlights bleeding in. And then we have a hit here.
This is a hit, yes. This is definitely a hit.
Legendary Steve Garvey. I still can't believe he didn't make it into the Hall of Fame.
I think he had some kind of personal issues.
Some demons, if you will.
Yeah, I think he had like a lot of different, like all of a sudden I found out he had like 3 different women or something.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Kept himself busy.
Yeah, he had like, didn't end well.
Okay, here is another one of these.
Yeah, those were very valuable in the 70s. People really wanted to get the whole set of those. They were very hard to get.
What are these called? So that is 25 years of Topps baseball.
Yeah.
All right.
And that also kind of give you a nice visual record, too, of old cards.
Oh, that's true. That's true. If you weren't able to hop on Google and see what a card looked like.
Yeah. And those cards there, they were actually even bigger than these cards. They started out even bigger.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The 55 Topps, I think that is. Yeah. So here's another example. I don't know why I'm showing these, but it's so poorly cut, and these 75s are notorious for being really poorly cut, but you can see another card, the top of another card coming in on that.
I'm surprised that some of these cards like this is like faded because they were in that pack.
Yeah.
But a bunch of them are faded.
Yeah, I think. Let's just show, Steve Swisher. Got a pretty sweet handlebar mustache. If nothing else, that is noteworthy.
There was one player in this era, Oscar Gamble. And, and he is known for a very interesting hairstyle.
He looks like a character.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, here's a good one. Hall of Famer.
Got it. Hit here, Gaylord Perry.
It's going to be tough to beat this pack here. You got a couple
I feel bad because I usually try to give the guests the better packs, although, it's often hard to tell before they're before they're open. But let's see what you got here.
All
Maybe
right.
we've got
Here we go.
a big rookie waiting in there.
Yeah. So, you know, another thing too about baseball cards in the 70s is there was really just a lack of souvenirs for you to buy as a kid. I mean, you know, one thing you could not buy was a team hat.
Really?
It would not.
Except for your hometown team.
No, not even that. You couldn't find him anywhere. And I don't remember, do you remember the TV show Magnum P.I.?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, if you ever watch a rerun, he's wearing a tiger cap. Okay?
Yep.
That was in the early 90s. That was a big deal. Like, how did he get that? How did he get a tiger cap?
He must know someone.
Yeah, no, that's literally what people said. He must know someone on the Tigers. So in '82, I was in my senior year of college. I went to Boston with my grandfather, and my goal was I'm going to buy the same kind of, you know, Red Sox cap that you could get. You know, the players would.
So it was kind of like this piece of sports, just something that you only saw the players wearing.
Yes.
So you, like, fans didn't have the hats.
They did not have the
players
hats.
Would wear.
No, and so when I went to Fenway Park in 1982, the only caps that I could buy the Red Sox was one that was a polyester cap where the B was glued on,
Oh no.
or one that was a cotton cap and the B was embroidered on a patch, and the patch was sewn onto the front of the hat.
Oh, jeez.
And so those were my two choices. So I got the one where the B was glued on, and it fell off like within like 3 weeks or so. So there's the stick of gum.
And you're tempted to eat that, right?
I am going to take one of those.
I don't know if you want to do that.
So, okay. Actually, I know this guy. Actually,
Jerry Grote.
Jerry
Really?
Grote. Yeah. Oh! We got a good card. We got a good card coming up. Got a good card coming up.
Prepare yourself, guys.
Yeah. This is this first non-rookie card, I guess.
Yep. That
Dave
is.
Winfield.
Oh, I love Dave Winfield.
Yeah. There you go. We'll put that.
So, interesting fact I learned through another episode is that Dave Winfield was in college. He played baseball, basketball, and football.
Minnesota, University of Minnesota.
Pretty
yeah.
amazing.
He played
like,
at the College World Series
athlete.
too. Oh yeah, he was. He was an incredible. And that was, I mean, he was so big when he went to the Yankees. I mean, it was a big story because it was a free
literally
agent.
big too. He was a giant on the field.
You know what I have too is I have a wrapper for the Reggie bar.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that's going to be with him. I think this is a valuable card here, Louis Tiant. And you know, 75, this was the year the Red Sox went to the World Series. So it was a big deal. I'm going to put that over there because I think
Let's do it.
That's Tim Foley. Oh, I saw George there for a second. I got excited here. John Hiller. Oh boy, if you lived in Michigan, you got back-to-back.
The 1-2 punch, there you go.
That's very valuable. And also Tony Taylor, who got traded to the Tigers later. That was their second baseman, so that would have been a big player there. Merv Retmond. For some reason, our neighborhood got flooded with 1971 Merv Retmond cards, and every kid had like 40 Merv Retmond cards. In a way, it's kind of my favorite, but
I might be able to arrange you taking that home if you need another Merv.
There we go. So we got a couple good ones out of
All
that.
right, I'm happy with these packs, and that was a blast. And Hawkeye, I so enjoy your stories and just you coming here and sharing your time with us. That was a blast. Thank you
I
so much.
want to give you a present here.
Present?
I'm going to let you
Like
pick from my
this.
dupes.
What?
Yes.
From the dupe pile?
Yes, these are my dupes.
Oh
here.
my
so
gosh,
you can have,
this is.
And
can I give you a Merv Retmond for whatever we?
I mean, Willie McCovey's in there. Bobby Bonds.
Wait, where do I find sweatpants in this box?
Yeah, so you got to trade some sweatpants on me. But as a gift, these
thank you.
Any card you want out of 71,
right,
you can have a mini dupe too.
Well, I think it's, if you're okay with parting with one of the 71s, I think that is most appropriate with this being the.
Oh,
the
look,
70.
that's a Greg Luzinski rookie card there.
That is nice.
Yeah, that's.
Let's see what we've. I feel like I shouldn't go through these and weigh them against each other, but there's so many to choose from here. Let me just see what is in here. These are. I know you guys aren't
Carl
able to see this.
Yastrzemski, that's a big card.
Okay, would it be okay if I take the Frank Robinson?
Yes, please do.
That is. Sorry, now
Please
out
do.
of order. Thank you so much, Frank Robinson, 1971 Topps from Hawkeye's dupe pile. That is awesome. I will cherish this forever.
That's a trade. I get a piece of gum.
That's right. You get a piece of gum and a Merv Retmond.
A Merv Retmond.
Thank you so much for your time today,
My pleasure.
man.
My pleasure.
That was a blast. And thank you guys for tuning in. and we will see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out another episode. Make sure to subscribe to PackGeek on YouTube. Also check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks. PackGeek.